Hi, I'm Miko Pellet, and I'm speaking to you today from Amman, Jordan. I've been here for about a week, and I have a few more days here. And I want to start by stating unequivocally that Palestine House of Freedom condemns in the harshest way the new law that was passed by the apartheid regime's parliament, the Knesset, which is the death penalty law directed at Palestinians only. So once again, this is not only a racist law, it's an anti-Palestinian law, it's an anti-Muslim law, it's an anti-Christian law, it's an inhumane law. And it was amazing to see how this law passed, and then members of the Knesset were celebrating. They were popping champagne bottles. If anybody had any doubt thus far that that regime is made of the worst that humanity has to offer, then perhaps this will be the final proof, if any proof is still needed, that that is what they are made of. It's a horrific, cruel law that only celebrates death. It has no virtues whatsoever other than celebrating death and killing more Palestinians at the hands of this horrific regime. Now, the reason I'm here in Amman is to do some work for Palestine House of Freedom and to work on some collaborations with people here. I have a lecture, if you're in Amman, on the 6th of April at the Rainbow Theater, so you're welcome to come. But we are hoping to put together an event, which again will be a collaboration between us and some organizations here in Amman, in Jordan, an event that will take place this summer. And so stay tuned. We'll fill you out. You'll get the information as it becomes available. But it's very exciting, and it looks like even with the chaos around, that this project is going to be very successful and enjoyable for the people here who can come here and participate. And speaking of this country being stable, it's unbelievable. It's almost miraculous how Jordan is able to maintain itself more or less stable with all the chaos going around and safe. You have the apartheid state across the River Jordan to the west, and then of course you have all these other countries and the bombing and the missiles, and there are sirens on a regular basis. We might actually hear one while I'm recording this. There are sirens every time the missiles go over the Jordanian airspace. But it's also interesting to make a comparison. The apartheid regime was instated and began officially as a state in the 1940s, and the Kingdom of Jordan as a state was established at the same time. They were both established by the colonizers, by the British. And it's interesting to compare the two over the last 8 decades. Which one of these countries engaged in or initiated war after war after war after war, more than one can even count? Which one caused one of the worst refugee crises in the world? A crisis that is still going on today because the apartheid state refuses to allow the refugees to return. Which of these two countries, these two states that sit side by side, separated by only the Jordan River, which is not very wide or deep, which one of them has invaded its neighbors multiple times, whether it's a war, whether it's an incursion, whether it's a military operation, and so on? Which of these two countries has been engaged in supporting and arming vicious dictatorships from South Africa to Congo to Latin America and so forth? And which of them is now engaged in this psychotic war targeting Iran, along with the United States? Certainly, it's not Jordan that has done all these things and continues to do these things. Jordan has been quiet and stable and peaceful, while the apartheid state has been the source of madness, of instability, of suffering. It has been the source of suffering and instability here in Western Asia and to a large degree in North Africa since its inception. Actually, before it was established, the destabilizing, the terrorism, and so forth had already begun. And of course, I'm referring to Zionist terrorism. So, like I said earlier, we must all condemn, we as Palestine House of Freedom condemn this new law, but we expect the entire international community to stand up once and for all, particularly constituents in America where elections are coming up very soon in November, constituents throughout Europe, and really America and Europe, I believe, carry the brunt of the responsibility for the chaos and for the support of the apartheid regime and the destabilization here. Constituents must demand severe sanctions, closure of diplomatic missions of the apartheid regime, a blockade or an arms embargo, and complete boycott of the apartheid regime, whether it's delegations, like I've said many times before, delegations to any arena, to any international space. They must not be allowed to participate. So if it wasn't Gaza, it's this war. If it's not this war, it's the apartheid regime in itself. If it's not that, it's the genocide. Pick one. One of these horrific crimes committed and continues to be committed by the apartheid regime, and act. Demand that your elected officials or unelected officials, local and national throughout each country, end the relations with this regime and helped to end this chaos, end the suffering in Western Asia. Enough is enough. How many more people need to die before this happens? And once again, like I said, here in Jordan, we're very much hoping to offer this wonderful collaboration, this wonderful event in the summer. And like I said, I'll be speaking at the Rainbow Theater, a wonderful venue where I've spoken before, on April the 6th in the evening. Thank you very much. And believe me, there's going to be a lot more to come.